Come get some!
Hello and welcome back to PAX Online and indeed to Dicebreaker, where today we are once again blessed with the presence of one Mr. Cody Pondsmith, who is going to be very kindly running Cyberpunk Red for us. Hello Cody, it's great to see you again, albeit over the internet, not in the same room.
Yeah, well, it's great to see you guys too. I mean, I probably sooner say cursed with my presence, but what can you say?
Well, we had a lot of fun last time when we all sort of got around and we robbed a train. So, you know, hopefully we'll do something equally outlandish today and just sort of have a good time in general.
I've got some seriously outlandish stuff planned.
Perfect.
Oh, good.
Excellent. So if you haven't seen our previous Let's Play series, do, because it's good and fun. But we were a ragtag band of adventurers. Mian was not a part of it and Loli's was, so we've had a lineup change for this particular one, but today, as I was before, I will be playing Mover, who is a solo, aka just if you need something killed dead, I'm your man. I'm very good at doing that, and I am
Need something killed alive, find someone else.
Yeah, find someone else, because that ain't me. I am a gruff, tough son of a gun.
If you want to do it right, do it with me, says Johnny.
Yes. Well,
almost constantly, yeah.
Taking that dubious momentum and rolling with it, why don't you tell us about your character, Mian?
My character is called Patch, and they are a meditech, a medtech, which basically means pretty much what you imagine it means, where I'm the one who patches up these idiots when they inevitably get caught in fire, or you know, cuts or various other boo-boos.
I think we definitely hired you after the last gig we did.
Yeah.
Out with the rocker boy, in with the medtech.
Yeah, they've gone for a more cautious option this time.
I feel like 40 probably had their career trajectory just took off afterwards. You know, hit album. They didn't need us anymore. They're off touring somewhere.
She's got a nice con app in the corporate zone now, and she barely calls.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Just straight to voicemail.
I am playing as Red Eye. I am Matt Jarvis, of course, but my character is Red Eye. I don't know if I said of course. I am the net runner of the group. Maybe Cyberpunk's what most people think of when they think of Cyberpunk. So I apologize in advance for not being very good at it. But Red Eye jumps into the virtual world and descends through multiple levels of security, dealing with the various kind of, I guess, antivirus software of sorts that will try and kick them out. And that's not great, because that could then make my brain essentially boil inside my skull if it goes very poorly. So I'm going to be trying not to do that.
At least attempting.
Yeah,
attempting, yes.
The way you said jump into the virtual world made me think of like like 90s like VR stuff when they're like, oh, it's a virtual world. Like...
Have you seen that like surfing the web book from the 90s with the kid on a surfboard flying into a digital earth? It's exactly that.
Like polygons floating around.
Finally, last but not least, I would say, if I was talking about somebody else, I'm going to be playing as Torch, who is a techie. He's your classic take lots of technology and retrofit it to make stupid things that blow up. Although, Cody, I'm just gonna. There seems to be some kind of problem with my character sheet. It says I don't have big knucks anymore.
Oh no!
Oh, well, that's wrong.
Central
You
tenet
got-
of your character.
You gotta have the knucks. Just assume you have the knucks.
I will assume I have big knucks, but apart from
Yeah.
that, I'm going to be toting a shotgun. I'm going to be ripping some wires out of walls and making all sorts of gadgets out of them.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Cody, I guess let's jump straight into it. Let's see how we're gonna earn those eddies.
All right. So just a quick here. The four of you live in Night City, the greatest city in the world by some people's standards. A large metropolis on the west coast of the United States, which is currently ravaged by the Fourth Corporate War and recovering from a lot of chaos, including a nuclear strike, which is going to be very important in a couple minutes. You are all edge runners. Edge runners are just mercenaries, people for hire. It's dirty deeds done dirt cheap, as it were. You do what you need to make money to survive. You don't probably care that much what you do to get that money. You may be moralistic, you may not be. It entirely depends on how you feel. But at the end of the day, you are hit with the primary crux of every edge runner, which is continuing your survival on the streets of Night City. Recently, the four of you, well, actually, three of you and your rocker boy companion, who has now made it big and moved to the corporate zone, did a fairly lucrative job with a well-known fixer in the city known as Hornet, robbing a large security train headed north for something which you probably never entirely figured out what it was, but you were told not to drop the case and make sure it doesn't open no matter what.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Some time has passed since then, and things have shifted around. You have found yourself another roommate, a med tech, probably in the unlicensed street doctor variety, though you may work with Trauma Team from time to time as a freelancer. I'll let you decide. But right now, we're just going to start in media res. I want everybody to roll initiative for me. So to do that, you're going to roll 1d10 and add your reflex statistic.
Okey-dokey.
Let me know the number.
I've got a 12.
I've got 13.
Oh, that's a 9.
Ugh.
9. All right.
Reflex.
Right at the top.
Ref. Just under your name.
Ah!
Red Eye, where are we at?
13.
13. Patch?
Ah! Oh! Ah!
That's where Red Eye's at.
I'm glad you're going to be the one dealing with us when we get injured. Oh no! Oh gosh! Oh, that's a lot of blood.
Jeepers.
Oh, I wasn't supposed to open that one.
13!
All right. As it stands, you are currently about 5 stories down in an underground complex under an old ruined Biotechnica building in what used to be the corporate zone until it was hit by a nuke, and is now what is referred to colloquially in the city as the hot zone, a highly radioactive area where people generally try to avoid. But that hasn't been as much of an option for the four of you. You have recently taken a job once again with Hornet, with the promise of good pay, specifically to descend into sort of the underground structures beneath this old Biotechnica building, this big, major sort of pharmaceutical and biotech company, to effectively break into their old vault. It's reasonably well known across the city that due to the unplanned nature of the sort of last big events of the Fourth Corporate War, there's a lot of good stuff in the hot zone if you A, have a radiation suit, and B, don't mind hunting through the rubble of a tremendous war and a nuclear explosion. That being said, in theory, down in this vault, you can find a rather large supply of Biotechnica's original sort of company funds. In this case, gold bullion, which is, in theory, only reasonably radioactive. You have been assured that gold has a relatively short half-life, so in theory, kept somewhere safe for a while, it will eventually not be radioactive. And Hornet wants that gold. Anything else you find, you can keep. He doesn't care. So this leads us to the four of you standing in a actually almost eerily well-preserved sort of corridor, many feet below ground in the hot zone, with currently Torch and Red Eye working on getting open a very large, very heavily secured vault door. You've managed to make your way down here pretty safely. Radiation suits were provided.
Oh, thank God.
And you were put in contact by Hornet with a nomad by the name of Long Rider, who is your transportation. He's waiting up above in a reasonably well-armored van, effectively, for you to get the gold and get out. Your journey down here so far has been relatively safe. There are very few living people this far into the hot zone, unless they're crazy or looking for gold or something like that. And the structure this far down appears to be relatively stable. That being said, Patch, you are the one who has, assumedly as a med tech, the Geiger counter, and you are deeply and painfully aware that if you did not have these radiation suits, you would all be very, very dead in a couple seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, Patch is, while these two are working... Did you say they were working on a vault of some sort?
Yes.
Yeah, while they're working on the vault, you just see Patch there, and there's like, I imagine there's like a panel in the suit where the face is, but you can't see Patch's face because there's just like smoke in there right now. It's like vape mist.
Probably fogged up in there.
You're hotboxing your radiation suit.
Oh yeah, like yeah, you know that Patch for almost constantly has like a cybernetically attached vape.
So you got rid of the rocker and found a med tech who knows how to party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're just sort of waving the Geiger counter. I imagine it's some sort of tool around.
Yeah.
And you just hear like, I imagine we've got like headsets or something on.
Yeah.
You just hear crackly through the headset. Guys, it's cooking out here. and I'm cooking in here, if you know what I mean.
You know that shit'll kill you, right?
It's not the time for this, Patch. I know the first question we ask anyone who joins the party is, do you know how to party? But this is not exactly what we meant.
Cool. Look, this ain't partying. This is just the standard protocol. You do your thing. I'll do mine. That means when you're getting sliced and diced, I'll be there patching you up, okay? You got me?
Yes, I get the nickname Patch.
You just see another, like...
That's for the nicotine patches.
Yeah. You just see another, like, blast of like, smoke go in there again. Once again, covering up her face.
Okay, Patches ripping fat cotton. Red Eye, You have spent the last like a solid 5 or 6 minutes in this architecture. The thing that nobody really necessarily talked about was the fact that you are breaking into a vault of biotechnica. This would normally be extremely far beyond your pay grade, but luckily it is an architecture that has not really been. It was created like 20 or 30 years ago. So it's not necessarily as bad as it may have been if it was a modern day biotechnica architecture. But you still spent quite a lot of time here, and you are kind of closing in on the tail end of this architecture. You think you're gonna, from everything you've been able to see with Pathfinder, you think you're gonna be able to find a control node for this door. Right now, you are about 5 floors down, and you are at a very strong DV9 password. This is kind of standard for this infrastructure. It is well defended. You have not been able to see past this password with your Pathfinder, but you've already kind of slipped past a few dangers, so you think you must be pretty much at the end.
Red Eye just does like a little shiver of joy as she realizes that she's so far down. It's just like, oh, you're not going to believe this. Oh, even for 20, 30 years ago, this is some good stuff. Like almost, I guess, to the same degree as Patch, hotboxing inside their suit.
Patch thought she was the only one getting red eyes.
Oh. Okay. So you are in the architecture. You have 3 actions as net actions. So you want to give cracking this password a try?
Yeah.
Your backdoor program.
Yes, that sounds ideal. It's been a little while since I was last running, so I'm just. Yeah, that's why yeah. So yeah, I think if I could use backdoor to try and crack through this password.
So you've got an interface of 4. The DV on this is 9, which means you're going to have to get a 10 to crack through it. You can always use luck. Important note: anybody trying to make a check for anything, you can always use luck to lower the DV. You have a number of points of luck equal to your luck stat, but that is all you get for the session.
So I've got 8, but this is the main vault door, right? To crack the password for it. I'm gonna come out of the gate strong, and I'm gonna use 2 points of luck.
Okay.
Of my 8 points.
So you're lowering this to a 7.
Isn't this exactly how it went last time?
Probably.
And I think it bit you in the arse later on. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that sounds like me. I look forward to rolling a 1 immediately.
I can heal any bites in the arse, so.
I think bites in the arse will be the least of my worries if I
can cause them
as
well.
Okay, so I'm rolling a D10.
Plus your interface.
Plus interface, and my interface is 4. So yeah. Okay, so I rolled. Oh, look at that! I rolled a 9.
Nice.
So well over.
You take a few seconds, and you're working this through. You get your back door in, and you crack through the password.
Oh.
Do you want to descend down? That does not take a net action, or you could Pathfinder and see what you could find beyond that.
I think I'll go Pathfinder to see what's coming up, because if it was a pretty strong password, I feel like there may be something just around the virtual corner.
Okay, give me a Pathfinder roll. Same, just add your interface to a D10 roll.
Okay, so 4 plus. Oh, that is a crit. I rolled a 10.
Roll again.
Oh yeah, of course they explode, don't they?
Yes.
So 2. So 12, 2 plus 4 interface is 16.
You get a really good Pathfinder run, and you were able to see down into this the last bits of this architecture. Right below you, you do find the control node for the vault door. However, you also find that at that floor, the architecture splits. That is not actually the bottom of this architecture. It splits off into a separate branch where you find, first off, a lich, which is a very dangerous anti-personnel black ice program. It's not exactly sort of Red Dragon level, but you're dealing with something extremely dangerous. And below that is a control node, another one, that is at a DV9 as well. And the only thing marked for the control node is subject 053.
Out loud, I just go, you are not going to believe what's sitting down here. And then, so can I go down to the first node?
Yes.
Before it splits. Okay, great. I would like to do that.
All right, and then it is a DV7 to try and crack this this control node, get control of the bank vault door.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
I rolled a 7, so +4 is 11.
All right, you crack into the bank vault door and you gain control over its systems. In the meantime, Torch, you have been looking over this vault door as Red Eye has been net running. It is, the corpse could always afford good tech. This is an extremely good vault door. The stuff that you have, the only way you were going to get in was to either net run it or perform a very complicated procedure that might crack it. You have been kind of keeping an eye as you move down through this building itself. And there is an interesting sort of thing you've noticed. This sort of lower floor is obviously where they're keeping sort of the important stuff, the funds, various things. It probably was once well guarded, but certain aspects of it were obviously damaged by the war and the blast and everything. You think there's a chance that this might be also where they might have kept some like Black Project R&D stuff. The stuff that you're really not supposed to know about, as it were.
Okay. And am I convinced that that's behind the vault door?
You would guess that probably this vault door is hiding all the things that Biotechnica doesn't want people to find.
In that case, can I run a check to see if there's any kind of like hardware fail-safe, like security measures? Not ones that Red Eye would run into, but like any kind of triggers that would set off like, turrets or some kind of smoke or anything.
Yeah, go ahead and roll electronic security tech. You have base 14.
Yeah, okay. That is a 6, so that's 20.
You kind of, as Red Eye is hacking in, you kind of take a look, kind of scouting over the door and everything around it, all the panels you can find. You're fairly sure that there probably isn't anything in the vault. At worst, there might be a few very sort of low impact defenses. You're not going to look at like turrets or things like that. You see a few things, a few sort of cable wirings that might lead to mounted microwavers. So microwavers are a fairly prominent anti-cyber tech weapon. They basically are sort of like almost like handgun-like construction that shorts out cyberware.
So I got a couple of cookers hooked up on here. Is there any way that I could, like, from what I can see, does it look like I could possibly cut the power to those without screwing around with anything that Red Eye's performing?
With another electronic security tech check, yeah, you think you could.
All right, let's do it. That is 4 this time, so 18.
18 is gonna do it, but just barely.
Okay.
You are kind of pulling out wires, you're rewiring, you're cutting, a few appropriate wires, and to the rest of the party, you kind of finish, and nothing really happens, but you're fairly sure that you cut power.
Yeah, they see me do what amounts to, in their eyes, absolutely nothing, and I sort of stand back up, and I'm like, you're welcome.
You all right there, mate? Playing around with the wires and such while our friend is in the cybernet, or?
I'm stopping the wires from playing around with us, Patch. That's what's important.
Can we just get a move on? The radiation, the microwaves. I hate fighting something trying to kill me and I can't shoot.
Exactly that, mate. But it should be broken by now, so don't worry about it.
Are you opening the door?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
This huge, like 4-foot thick door, just swings open, and you see actually a fairly comparatively small room. It is very, it's very obviously a vault room. It's got sort of panels and like obvious drawers in the walls. There's some crates inside. The area is still hot as hell. But you do see 3 large crates, which, from everything Hornet has told you, is the gold you're looking for. There are some other things, but that's the thing that stands out to you immediately.
Yeah, I'd absolutely like to search what the other things are.
As you're moving in to search what the other things are, Mover, what are you doing?
I think it's just force of habit / nervous energy with having to rely on my other teammates. I want to do a corner check with the assault rifle.
Okay. You move in, you check the corners. You do indeed see up in the 4 corners of the room itself are large, what look almost like you would almost say like industrial grade microwavers. These are big. This Biotechnica is primarily a cybertech company, or a biotech company, not cybertech. So they have probably prepared a lot of stuff to deal with intrusions from other more cybertech-based corporations.
Okay.
But they appear to be off.
I want to lower my rifle and be like, clear. Good job, Torch. And then I'm going to raise my hand way in the air and flip off every single one of the microwaves. I deliberately put my arm up so it wouldn't appear on camera, and then I moved it all the way in the back, so it did. Oh well.
Patch says, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think they were actually fully broken until you flipped them off, mate. But that must have done the actual last 10% of it.
Look, it made me feel better.
As you move into this small sort of vault room, Torch is going to check around, sort of see what else is in the room. Red Eye, what are you doing? You're still in the net. You have opened the door. You've got this lich and this mysterious control node. But it's kind of up to you as to whether you want to see what you can see.
So it branches, right? So down one branch was the control node, and then down the other branch is the lich. Is that correct?
No, down one branch. You're at the bottom of the branch you're currently on. Down the other branch is the lich, and then the control node.
Gotcha. And
you think that you could probably try to slide by the lich, but it would be a high risk, high reward situation.
High risk, high reward. There's nothing.
No.
Great, I like to hear
That's
more.
what we call Jarvis bait.
Yeah.
I would like to try and slide by that lich, please, Cody.
Yeah.
All
It's like
right.
Big old fat worm on the end of a hook.
So you kind of move aside into the level with the lich, and as you do this, you can see it fully. This imposing black metallic skeleton draped in robes, its hands studded with various rings, all blackened with age and sparking with electricity.
Can I just say over the radio to the rest of the party, like, I know you can't see what I'm seeing, but you should know you're really missing out.
You're all used to Red Eye saying this to you. She lives in her own world. All right, you have a chance to slide. So you're going to roll plus your interface. I can tell you that this is going to be very difficult.
Excellent. Can I spend luck on this as well?
Yes.
Just spend all your luck.
Do I know the... Hey man, it's a lich. Do I know the difficulty of the lich?
On opposed rolls, you do not.
Okay.
Get real greasy there, Matt Jarvis.
I would like to spend... You know what? I'm going to spend 3 points of my luck.
Okay.
So I'm down to three remaining luck.
So you're raising yourself up to a 7. Go ahead and roll.
Mm-hmm. I rolled an 8, so plus my interface is 12.
All right. As this lich begins to raise one of these skeletal hands, this sort of lightning crackling off of it, you really quickly basically run your slide program and just sort of by it. And you move down to the control node below it.
Can I take the equivalent of a screenshot as I go by and send it to the others?
You take a cyber selfie on your way through.
I feel my agent buzzing in my pocket, and I'm like, oh god.
I'm ignoring that.
And you come down to the control node. As you're doing that, Torch, you search the room. I kind of assume with Patch and Mover. And what you are finding is basically, it's not a lot that you can immediately decipher. You know some biotech, but really it's kind of between you and Patch as far as figuring out what all this does. There are a few what are obviously sort of abandoned R&D projects. A few machines, but it's kind of hard to tell exactly what they do off the top of your head. There are a few large, like cooler containers, effectively, that you think if you pop them open, probably have maybe biotech implants or samples of something. And there are a series of almost like lockers in the walls, most of which are red, which you know kind of enough to know means that they're pretty much empty. One of which is kind of like a deep blue. It's about that big, and it's sort of over in the wall, almost in a corner of the room.
About flags immediately in my head. I'm like, ooh. I'm seeing like big jars, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then I think I just lock eyes with the locker on the other side of the room, and like there's almost like a hello.
Oh, mi amor.
Bonjour,
madame.
Patch,
and I just sidle over.
Torch kind of sidles over. Patch, what are you doing as sort of Red Eye is doing something dangerous, and Torch is sidling over to like a small locker box kind of in the corner.
I think Patch is opening those coolers that you mentioned and poking around in there with the radiation thing.
Okay.
And she says, I could knock out an entire stadium with this lot in here. I could also send you to some places you never thought you'd see if I inject you with this stuff. Oh boy. She's like a child in a candy store.
I didn't realize Patch was being played by David Bowie.
I have no problem with it. go ahead and roll either science, which you have a base 11, or medical tech, which you have a base 12. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
12.
probably go for the Meditech then.
All right.
Oh, I rolled a 1.
Roll again.
Oh,
Oh,
That's
yeah,
7.
Of course.
Okay. You don't entirely know what any of this does. There's obviously some samples. There's obviously some like, for lack of a better term, biotech prototypes, but all of it is severely damaged by radiation. You think that maybe if you took it back and lived with radioactive biotech in your apartment for a while, you might be able to make something of it, but you're also, if it's this far down, it may also be either problematic in some like bioplague way or just unethical. You don't really know.
Patch says, "God, this stuff is riddled, mate." Just like poking through it with the tester and like turning things over. Yeah, I don't think I can really say much of this here, but hey, it's interesting, like a museum.
Mover, you're kind of watching all this go on. You've got your ears perked for any danger, as kind of always.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do anything specific?
I guess because we're sort of, I'm acutely aware that we're in a room with only one exit. I would quite like to sort of go to the entrance of the vault and just try and just have a listen and see if anything else is going on. In the back of my head, I'm daydreaming about the kibble stand I'm going to open when I finally made enough money to ditch these losers.
Ooh.
That's beautiful.
Gonna quit that edge runner life and just start slinging really good cuisine. Well, really good kibble.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. So where's my perception? Okay. Base 11. It's 13.
You are kind of listening at the you're listening at the door, at this big vault door. Other than the sort of odd creak and groan of the structure itself, which you've kind of gotten used to as you've gone down this far, you don't hear anything significant. However, as a solo, I will tell you that you can roll a tactics check.
Okay, I will do that happily. That is a 16.
There is a very small chance. Okay, you are dealing with Biotechnica, which used to be and still is one of the most influential corporations in the world. Even after the Fourth Corporate War, they are still living pretty large. If you are really in one of their sort of corporate funding and black project vaults, the likelihood that there is at least a 20% chance that there is something in this vault that will alert somebody. It just depends on whether that has a contingency for if the sort of Night City headquarters at Biotechnica gets blown up.
Okay.
Maybe it will alert somebody off-site, but also you're not sure that that tech would be functional at the moment.
Okay.
But you may not want to waste a lot of time.
Yeah, I think I'm going to sort of share that information with the others. Be like, don't screw around in here too much. We may still call down some bad guys on our asses. If it looks suspicious, just don't touch it.
I'm like, yeah, whilst like jarring.
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, I'm assuming, that I'm not going to get through to you anyway. But I, at least I'll be able to say I told you so to your corpse.
Yeah. Patch is like, yeah, mate, I ain't touching any of this with my bare hands.
So much kibble.
Red Eye.
Turns up whatever the equivalent of a Spotify integration is. Just...
Are you Red Eye? Are you going to try to take control of this control node?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Of
This is
course she
the
is.
project, the subject.
Okay. It
no,
is a DV7.
Okay.
Go ahead and give me a roll.
Okay. I'm not going to use any luck. I'm just going to. I rolled 8 + 4 on my interface.
That's
So-
going to do it. You take control of this control node. You now, the only options at the moment are open, close, and purge.
Okay. What would purge do out of interest?
From what you can tell, purge would effectively purge the whatever container this is with fire, effectively.
Right.
Not that one.
Interesting.
Depends
This
what's in
is
there.
connected to a container somewhere. Do I know where the container is?
Yes, it is in the vault.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I'm going to open it.
Okay. You hit the button, and Torch, as you are swaggering over to this container, there's a little beep, and the blue light turns green.
Oh, cheers, Red Eye.
And then it slides open.
And what's inside?
You look inside?
Yeah, not too closely.
Well, it's gonna be a
I've
face
got-
hugger, isn't it?
I've got a tool hand, or yeah,
More
a
like
tool
your
hand would
hand's
have a
got
little
a
flashlight. Yeah, like my hand turns into like a Swiss Army knife, basically.
Yeah.
I'll get a little flashlight on my finger and just sort of like search around in it, just keep my
You-
distance.
Look in, and you see a small metal case. Just big enough to fit in this this sort of container.
Okay, I would like to pull out the small metal case.
You pull it out. You have a small metal case. It's about that big by that or so.
Mhm.
It doesn't have a lock on it.
Do I have any way of like scanning things?
You have a tech scanner, but it wouldn't really help you here.
Okay, I'm just gonna. I think, considering the amount of security on this thing, I think my alarm bells are sort of ringing a bit.
Okay.
And I think I shout out to like Mover, can you just back me up on this, just in case? You look over, I'm just holding a box.
I'm a pretty good shot from here, actually.
Okay, well, just keep it trained on this thing, and then like I've got my arms stretched open, and I just want to just pop it open.
Yeah, I think Patch is gonna look at what Torch is doing and bring out her shield.
You pull
Get
out
ready.
your bulletproof shield as Patch. You click open the case, and with a it opens. Inside, you see a foam padded inside, recessed with a single groove to fit a what would appear to be like a clear storage tube. Patch, you're familiar with this sort of, just sort of storage device, about that big, which appears to contain mercury, like about a half cup of mercury.
Is
Until
that
it
rare?
moves.
Okay.
It kind of, you would think it was dripping, but it's moving upward, up the side of the container.
Huh. Okay, I think I just sort of like I did have it upright. I think
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sort of like slant it and see if that has any effect on it.
It kind of sloshes back down into the bottom, and then all around the sides of the tube, it starts dripping back up the sides of the container.
Does Patch have any idea what this might be?
You can roll a medical tech check with your base 12.
Okay, let's give that a go. Okay, that's a 6 plus 12, 18.
No, you don't. You've never seen anything like it. It looks. I mean, it's reacting to things.
Can I just shine my flashlight finger onto the top of it and see if the light's what attracting it?
it doesn't really react to the light, but it comes up to the top of the tube, and it sort of widens out until this sort of shimmering silver liquid is sort of covering the entire inside of the tube.
Well, that's interesting. Nope, never seen anything like that before. And I've seen a lot of things.
If you've never seen it and I've never seen it, that probably means it's valuable. I think I just sort of, I think I just pushed the lid closed.
Okay.
And then I've got some duct tape in my bag. I'm just gonna duct tape the top up just to make sure that doesn't come open.
Torch, I've seen inside your refrigerator. I've seen weirder stuff looking stuff like that. Weirder looking stuff than that in there. And I've never seen it crawl.
It's all of our refrigerator. Don't blame me solely.
I've never seen it crawl towards anyone. Put it back.
Well, look, I mean, we can find someone who knows more about this stuff, and then we might be able to sell it.
Look where we are, and nobody knows about this stuff. And if they do, they don't want us to have it.
I've definitely got someone who knows something about something like this somewhere in my contact book.
I am not helping you fence this, but I do want my cut.
What? No, hold on. You can't just say that I'm not going to help you do anything with this, and I'm going to actively tell you that you shouldn't do it. However, I want my money for it.
All of your comms suddenly crackle as you hear a voice from above, the voice of Longrider, the nomad you're working with. Says, "Hey y'all, we got some problems. You about done down there?"
Oh, we got the stuff.
What's the situation?
All right. We got some folks lurking around. I don't know who they are, but we got a pretty heavily armored car. Think they might have followed us in here.
Oh, well, that ain't good. Maybe you should stop arguing over the whatever this stuff is and start getting quick.
Good shout, Patch. I put it into my backpack and start picking up one of the crates of gold.
You haul up one of the crates of gold, and you start making your way back up. Anything you want to do before you leave?
Can Red-Eye, if Red-Eye's essentially emptied out this particular network, can I scan around for any information on what this liquid might be, having heard the group chatting about it? If that was there, it would be in a file, and you have not found any files at the moment. All right.
You would guess that probably any information on this is either maybe in the container somewhere or kept off site. And honestly, if it's kept here and the information about it is kept off site, that's even more upsetting.
Mm-hmm. And like I've explored every other branch of that.
Yeah.
Okay. I just go. I was expecting more of a challenge and just jack out.
All right.
So glad you used the word
kick flip out.
You make your way back up to the surface, moving through the sort of disrupted lower floors of this building until you come up to the surface where much of the building above you is just rubble. The Geiger counter continues to sort of go wild as you make your way over towards the heavy van, just parked about 200 feet from the entrance. You see Longrider inside, who gives you a wave and then kind of a come on, hurry up.
Yeah. Patch is just.
Yeah.
You make your way over. You drop the crates of gold in the back of the van, and Longrider says, "Lost track of the car, but keeping an eye. Mover, I'd suggest you keep your gun ready."
Yeah, no kidding.
Cody, I've got a cyber optic eye.
Yes.
With micro optics.
Yes.
Now that's magnification. Would that help at long range, or is that just for tiny little things I'm looking at?
That's just for tiny little things.
Okay.
You could like look at the fluid you picked up, or you could, if you wanted to do like super small wire work, you could do that, but it will not help you at long range.
but I've got nothing that will help me with scanning them from a long range sort of thing.
Just your regular old eyes.
I believe Patch has a teleoptics.
You
There
do.
we go.
Allows me to see detail from up to 800 meters away.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. So Patch is going to have a scan, a look around. Where did Long Rider like gesture
He
anywhere?
kind of gestured off to, just sort of off to your right and forward a bit.
Okay, yeah. Patch is going to have a nosy over there with her teleoptic eye.
You kind of click on the magnification, you zoom in, and it doesn't take a perception check to see what at first looks like maybe an abandoned vehicle over kind of in one of the alley areas. Very well hidden just by the nature of it being kind of junky. But it doesn't take too long to see it is a relatively large ground car, kind of patched back together in many places with what looks like to be a large, rather threatening looking plow, almost welded to the front of it. You can't really see inside the car much, but you can kind of see every once in a while you see like a hand move into frame, as it were, around sort of the corner of this alley.
Yeah, at this point, Patch has gotten quite tired from carrying all that gold, and she sat like on the edge of the van, where the door opens,
Uh-huh.
and another puff, and she goes, "Yep, even I can see through all this smoke. That's a big old armored car over there. Got some sort of plow on it, looks like. I would get busy, Long Rider."
Long Rider says, "Ah, hell. All right, everybody strap in," and kicks the van into gear. Where is everybody? So your van at the moment has a big, double door in the back, 2 doors on the sides. It has a passenger seat, and a sort of makeshift, not even gunner's nest, but just sort of area you can pop up through the top.
Well, sky roof action.
Yeah.
I think I'm sat on the passenger seat.
Okay.
100% in the
think-
gunner's bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Red Eye will jump into whatever seat is closest to the equivalent of, in today's cars, you have like a USB port where you can plug in your own music. If there's the equivalent of that, she jumps straight
cord.
into the seat
Are you
closest
gonna-
to that.
Are
and
you
is just
gonna
immediately
fight
putting it
Torch for shotgun?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not giving up. I'm not giving
No,
up.
You
doesn't
start
care.
fighting for shotgun, and Long Rider says, "Get in the fucking van."
I'm
am
sat there
not
looking
gonna-
at Red Eye, and I'm like, I'm wielding a shotgun. I get shotgun.
As your car revs up, you see headlights paint the street as the combat car turns on.
Oh, yep, here she comes. Yeah. Patch is just standing in the van, leaning against the side, and just narrating exactly what's happening with the armored car. Like, oh yeah, it's turning the lights on. It's coming over here.
Is there a divider between the front seats and the back of the van?
No.
Okay, I'm just like, look, Red Eye, and I like ruffle through my bag and like bring out a big old bundle of wires and find some kind of like aux cord or whatever. I shove it into the stereo system and then just loop it back, and I'm like, just get in the fucking van, please.
Red Eye accepts this. She jumps in and immediately plugs in, or I guess plugs it probably into her own
Interface.
gosh, what's it called?
So
The virtuality goggles or whatever I'm wearing that can then just beam my music straight into the speakers, wax it straight up to 11.
Oh yeah.
I'm that kind of car passenger.
excellent. Of course you are. The van tears off, basically heading out of the hot zone, and not far behind you at all. Anyone looking back is able to see this real like Mad Max machine of a combat car swerve out of this alleyway,
Yeah.
tearing down the road towards you. It
Patch is just narrating exactly what the car is doing.
It is armored. It has this big, wicked-looking plow on the front of it, and you can see behind the wheel, in the car, and on top of the car are three people. They are wearing heavy leather and all cybered up fairly extensively. You were talking multiple cyber limbs, probably cyber eyes. One or two of them have tech hair, one of which is this big, like, bright mohawk that glows in the dim red light. All of you are fairly aware that these are probably gangers, specifically from a gang called the Iron Sights, which are a small but surprisingly tough gang of, like, real, like, borderline cyber psychos. They are all about getting as much tech as they can get.
Yeah, Patch says, "Oh yeah, got some. We got some techies here. Oh, that's one snazzy mohawk there. I must admit."
I'm imagining you just like doing football commentary in the back.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, and here comes the car, heavily welded with a plow. Three people inside.
Patch is very nonchalant about her
You do sound like you're
narration.
leaning over a hedge, just kind of like, oh yeah, you seen that man plow? Yeah.
Way big, is it?
The car comes speeding after you. You are, at the moment, relatively even on speed. But you would not be surprised if there are some tricks up this car's sleeve. The gangers behind you, the one driving is currently focused on driving. The one in the passenger seat is kind of leaning way out. You see as they hold out their arm, it kind of like clicks and shifts open, revealing a rather large gun barrel. And the one who is now literally standing on the hood of this car, just like flicks his right hand, and long, basically carboglass blades kind of out of his fist.
I think if Red Eye sees this, she's like, oh, cool. Oh no, they're going to try and kill us.
Yeah.
If this armored car that we're in has any rear lights, can I access them through the port that I'm currently plugged into for the music?
No, but you could. Well, cars usually don't have like actual architectures unless they're self-driving or something of the like. You could. I would say that you could probably plug your own interface cables into the car and take control of the headlights. No serious problem.
Okay, yeah, great.
Headlights,
I'd like to do
taillights.
that, please.
Okay. You plug your interface cables into the car. You're aiming to just flash the taillights real bright.
Yeah, essentially just, I guess, overcharge them so that they're bright enough so that their aim or accuracy is decreased.
Okay. Why don't you give me a electronic security tech check on this one, actually?
Okay, so I've got 13 in total. I rolled a 2, so I got 15 all.
You're not currently getting exactly, like, the taillights are blaring, but you're not exactly getting what you're looking for.
I'm just flashing them by mistake.
Yeah.
You're flashing these Iron Sights gangers, who are obviously kind of confused, but it's not necessarily stopping them. Patch, you are standing in the back of the van narrating this situation. Is that what you want to do right now?
Nah, at this point, Patch is gonna open one of the side doors. I imagine it's like a slide door.
Yeah.
And she's gonna lean out and in one hand, like, hold the edge of the van to keep herself in. And in the other hand, like, fire out with her pistol.
Okay.
At
So
the person leaning out of the window.
Well, that sounds pretty horrifyingly dangerous, but regrettably, we're out of time on this panel. If you want to see the concluding part of our adventure in Cyberpunk Red, you can go over to Dicebreaker, that's youtube.com/Dicebreaker, in order to see how things turn out. Whatever you do, I hope you have a lovely rest of PAX Online, and a lovely day. Thanks for watching.